My parents said they've been visiting me at a care facility for months, but I've been living in my own apartment. I opened my apartment door to find my mother and father standing in the hallway with expressions of shock that bordered on horror. My mother's hand flew to her mouth and she made a small gasping sound. My father went pale, his eyes moving from my face to the apartment number on the door and back again. I said, "Mom, Dad, what are you doing here? I thought you were coming next weekend." My mother's voice came out strangled. "Ethan, how are you here? We just visited you this morning at Riverside." I stepped back, confused. Riverside was a care facility across town, the kind of place for people with severe disabilities or chronic conditions. I said, "Visited me where? I've been here all day working from home." My father looked at my mother, then back at me. He said, "Son, we've been visiting you at Riverside Care Center every week since March. You've been a patient there for 4 months." The hallway seemed to tilt slightly. I gripped the door frame and said, "That's impossible. I've been living here the entire time. I work remotely for Deltron Systems. I pay rent here. What are you talking about?" My mother started crying, her hands shaking as she reached toward me. She said, "They told us you'd had a breakdown, that you needed intensive care. We've been paying for your treatment. Ethan, we've sat with you in your room dozens of times." I pulled them inside my apartment, my mind racing. The living room was scattered with my work papers, my laptop open on the coffee table showing the project I'd been coding all afternoon. My coffee cup sat beside it, still half full. I gestured around the space and said, "Does this look like a care facility? I live here. I've lived here for 2 years." My father walked through the apartment as if he was seeing a ghost. He opened my bedroom door, saw my unmade bed and clothes on the floor, and turned back to me with complete bewilderment on his face. My mother sat down heavily on my couch and said, "I don't understand. We've been going to Riverside every Sunday. The staff knows us. We sign in, we go to room 3B. You're there in bed, and we sit with you." The details were too specific to be confusion. I sat down across from her and said, "Describe what I look like when you visit me." She wiped her eyes and said, "You're usually sedated. You don't talk much. The nurses say you have good days and bad days. Sometimes you recognize us, sometimes you don't. They said it's part of your condition." My father's voice was hollow. "We've been paying $8,000 a month for your care. The bills come regularly. We've spoken to your case manager, a woman named Dr. Lydia Frost. She updates us on your progress." I felt cold spreading through my chest. $8,000 a month for 4 months. $32,000 paid for treatment I never received at a facility I'd never been to. I pulled out my phone and said, "I'm calling Riverside right now." My mother nodded urgently. "Yes, call them. Ask for Dr. Frost. She's your primary physician there." I dialed the number for Riverside Care Center, putting it on speaker. A receptionist answered cheerfully. "Riverside Care Center? How may I direct your call?" I said, "I need to speak with Dr. Lydia Frost about a patient named Ethan Reeves." There was a pause, then the sound of typing. The receptionist said, "I'm sorry, we don't have a Dr. Frost on staff here. Are you sure you have the right facility?" My parents exchanged confused glances. My mother said, "That can't be right. We've met with her multiple times." I asked the receptionist, "Can you check if you have a patient named Ethan Reeves?" More typing. Then she said, "I'm not showing anyone by that name in our system. When was the admission date?" I said March and gave her my birth date. She checked again and said, "I'm sorry, sir. There's no record of that patient here. Is there anything else I can help you with?" I thanked her and hung up, my hands starting to shake. My father said, "That doesn't make sense. We've been there. We've walked through the doors, signed the visitor log, gone to your room." I stood and paced. "Show me the bills. Show me everything you have related to this." My mother pulled out her phone and scrolled through emails. She turned the screen toward me. What I saw shocked me. To see the full story, click the link below or go on my channel.